PCI College now offers two options for online study in counselling and psychotherapy. Our first option is an introduction to counselling and psychotherapy, where all the material is delivered online and students get a comprehensive introduction to the theories and approaches to counselling and psychotherapy. Our second option is a certificate in counselling and psychotherapy, which is a blended learning course in which the online content is enhanced and supplemented with 2 weekend workshops covering the practical and experiential aspects of the programme. The Introduction to Counselling and Psychotherapy course is ideal really for those who want an introduction to counselling and psychotherapy, who just want to understand maybe the main theories and approaches to counselling.
We pull the elements of it. I mean, the course broadly covers important elements of personal development, the theory. What is the theory that underpins a counsellor psychotherapist's work, and skills? What are these skills? How, do we just take them off the shelf, learn them and then practice them?
So during the first module, you'll reflect on your personal growth and experience of life as a primary source for your understanding of counselling. You'll also describe self-esteem and illustrate the importance of good self-esteem to your personal well-being. You'll be given an opportunity to demonstrate a greater awareness of your personal needs and to reflect on and explain the impact of fear and change in your life. And finally, you hopefully will have raised awareness and sensitivity of others. In the second module, the Overview of Theorists module, you will explore the work of some of the main theorists of counselling and psychotherapy, along with gaining an understanding of the history and development of counselling and psychotherapy. During the third module, you will explore the work of Carl Rogers and the person-centred approach to counselling and psychotherapy, with a focus on the core conditions and the counsellor's use of self. You will also explore the cognitive behavioural approach, focusing on the work of Albert Ellis. Then finally, during the last module, the nature of the therapeutic relationship will be examined and discussed. The main skills of counselling will be explained, and for students who wish to complete the certificate in counselling and psychotherapy, you will be given an opportunity during one of your workshop weekends to practice the basic skills of counselling with your fellow students.
I've done online courses myself as a student, and there are numerous benefits. A lot of it is self-directed, and that you get the experience of being able to manage your time a little bit better. Also, for some people, for reasons of location, it may be difficult for them to actually get into a classroom venue, and so they can use the online kind of technology aspect of that. But also that idea that it's nowadays with internet and with broadband, that it is so accessible. And research will show as well that an online learning environment can be just as conducive to learning as an in the flesh, if you like, environment.
So the material is presented in a number of ways. Firstly, you have written text with questions that you need to answer and complete a workbook relevant to each of those modules. There'll also be video lectures and PowerPoint presentations, and also an opportunity for you to engage in live discussion and chat on our forum.
What it gave me personally, what I found to be of most benefit was, as well as the education part of it and learning a little bit more about areas that I had little or only a vague notion of, learning obviously a little bit more about that. For me, the personal development aspect was the strongest part. Even if you're doing a skills module, for example, and you're learning the skills there, you're also learning things about yourself and increasing your awareness. I found that it helped me with my own kind of confidence things and overcoming and challenging a few fears and different aspects like that. And a lot of that goes on in terms of just bringing the students out of themselves and trying to develop their own strengths.
The course then can be upgraded to a certificate in counselling and psychotherapy if the students enrol for and complete the weekend workshops, which take place in our Dublin West campus and deal with the practical and experiential elements of the programme. The certificate then in counselling and psychotherapy is ideal for those who want to gain a certificate in counselling and psychotherapy, either for their own personal development or to add skills to an existing role, or maybe as a stepping stone to a professional qualification. The certificate is one of the entry criteria for the BSc degree in counselling and psychotherapy. The blended learning certificate delivers much of the material online for study at home in a student's own time, and the practical and experiential aspects of the certificate are delivered in 2 weekend workshops at our Dublin West campus.
We've 4 class contact days overall. First 2 follow the first 2 modules, and they are broadly about to look at their experience of the personal development as a module online, and also the overview of their theorists. So I know when I take the 2 class contact days, I do try to be flexible, really flexible in the classroom, because we might have several students, and I want to know how they have experienced working online and doing that. So there can be very different experiences come into the classroom, and I think the lecturer and all the lecturers are very tuned into that. So it isn't a rigid formulated day of this is what we're going to throw at you. It's more about let's all get together. So what was it like? What parts of that did you like? And I love posing the question to them, so what was personal development like for you? A lot of them will go, oh, I wasn't expecting that, or it triggered a lot of stuff for me. So I think that's grist for the mill. That's great. I love to hear that. Some people will throw themselves into the personal development, and some people will resist it. That in itself is really interesting, A day to give them a chance to learn from each other, to ask questions in an atmosphere that, look, there is no question that we won't be able to answer, that we don't want.
It's a little different to classroom environments that people might be used to. For one thing, we kind of sit around in a semicircle, and I encourage kind of democratic discussion, that people, if they have a viewpoint that might be a little bit different to other people, that they get to voice that. In terms of the skills, we work on role plays, we work in 2s and 3s or smaller groups around developing people's skills, and usually it's done, typically the lecturer might demonstrate one of the skills, reflecting, for example, being one of the common skills, and then encouraging the people. One of the students would play the role of the client and another of the counsellor, and then encouraging people to give it a go themselves.
We will do some role plays in the classroom. I might do a demonstration of a counselling session for them in a particular style, and I might get them to do a particular experiential exercise, maybe a Gestalt one or something like that. So certainly we for sure try to have an open, easy atmosphere, but one that is conducive to learning, because it's meant to be a time when they get to pull all of what they've done online together and gives them that opportunity. They like meeting, seeing other faces, and they like an easy, open atmosphere that answers their questions, that enhances their learning, and that offers them time to practice their skills. This is about what is it actually like? What's the experience of sitting with somebody to hear one of the difficulties they've experienced? What's it like? So we skills is very much practical. There's a lot you need. That's why we devote 1 full day to practice of skills. What parts of it did you find comfortable? How am I to sit? How am I to look? When do I look? All those what would appear to be simple questions, but sometimes aren't when you're just starting off. So we offer them that full day to practice, to get into the shoes of a psychotherapist or counsellor and get an absolute real sense. Because at the end of this, I always say that I want them to know what the job is, to have an absolute understanding of it, to see if it's for them,
The certificate course in Counselling and Psychotherapy is in itself a standalone course. It is a prerequisite to have that if people do want to study further, but it's not necessarily. Many people who come on the certificate programme do it for their own reasons, that they find that it helps to develop their self-confidence, whether personally or whether in presenting something, or just bring out things in them that they didn't realise before. Plus there's a great support network there in terms of the group, so whatever groups people are with, between that and the lecture, there's like a collaboration, and the feedback is really positive, around that what people get. So many people just do it for reasons of personal development, and that in itself is a worthwhile exercise for people to do.